So can the police search your car without a warrant? It's important to know your rights and what goes on there. So let's say, hey, the flashing lights, you pull over, the cop comes up, hey, how are you doing? And he asks, first question they usually ask, especially if you're driving down the road, do you know how fast you were going? Or, do you know why I pulled you over? If anytime a cop asks you, do you know how fast you were going? The only appropriate answer is, officer, I was going the speed limit. Because you probably didn't know how fast you were going at that moment, because if you're like me, slight changes in hills or anything, your speed will change. So you just say, I was going the speed limit. You don't know any better, so that's your best answer. That second question, do you know why I pulled you over? No, officer, I have no idea. Last time I checked, I'm not a mind reader. Are you a mind reader? Probably not. You don't know why that cop pulled you over. I've had clients, I kid you not, say, yeah, officer, because I ran that stoplight 3 miles back. The cop didn't get behind him until a half a mile before. He had no idea. So guess what got added to the ticket? Running a stoplight that the cop didn't even know had happened. So you don't know why you were pulled over. So you say, I don't know. The next dumb question they ask, hey, do you mind if I look around in your car? I've had clients say, yeah, no problem. You can take a look. And they hop out. Officers, hey, when you come out, they get them out, they cuff them, for their safety. And they search the car and they find contraband that shouldn't have been there. That might have been left by somebody else. They were driving somebody else's car. But there's marijuana or worse found in the car, and guess what? They possessed it. They're charged with it. So if a cop ever asks you, can I search your car? Do you mind if I look around? Just say no. Nancy Reagan had it right with drugs. It also applies to if cops ask if they can search. Just say no. Now, if a cop has probable cause, let's say he's walked up and he's looked in the window and he sees what could very well be a contraband, marijuana bong, bottle of beer, anything that might be contraband, a white powdery substance in your car, that may give them probable cause. If they have probable cause, they can search, but you still want to avoid giving consent. If the officer says, I have probable cause to search your car, do you mind if I search? You say, no, you may not search. I do not consent to the search. However, officer, if you think you have probable cause, you're going to do what you want to do, but I do not consent to the search. Never consent to a search. If they have probable cause and they feel it's strong enough probable cause, they're going to search regardless of whether you consent or not. So don't give them consent. If you give them consent, you've erased the ability for me or another defense attorney to suppress any evidence they find for violating your rights by not having probable cause. So, that's what to do if you're pulled over. Those are the 3 most common questions. Do you know why I pulled you over? You don't know. You can't read his mind. Do you know how fast you were going? I was going the speed limit. Hey, do you mind if I look around in your car? No, you may not search. I do not consent to a search. And if they start asking you a bunch of questions, say, my name is such and such, and I'd like to talk to my attorney. And shut up. Don't talk to them more than that and identifying yourself and giving them the paperwork that they're entitled to get your driver's license, proof of insurance, and registration. So if that ever happens to you, I hope this helps. Please share it with your family members so that they know what to do if they're ever pulled over in a way that'll protect them, because it's important. I've had too many clients get in trouble because they didn't know these things, and they didn't, they're trying to be cooperative, but it's not helping them. You want to be cooperative and polite, but don't overshare. Don't give a cop a greater reason to convict you of a crime. Anyway, I'm Travis Christiansen, Greater Zion Law. My boy at Christiansen. You can find us online, greaterzionlaw.com. We've got offices in St. George and Hurricane. Happy to help anybody here in Southern Utah, and we handle traffic cases statewide.